I'm so excited about this fall beauty. Come make this easy wreath with me. We're going to start building our composition at 9 o'clock, where we'll put a cluster of 2 flowers and 1 bow. Let's start by cutting off 2 of these gorgeous orange mums. Go ahead and remove the leaves. They're very pretty, so save them for something else. Now we're going to put our first mum at exactly 9 o'clock, and it's going to be facing forward. We're going to put our second mum in the crook, or kind of nestled on the inside of the wreath. This is going to give it an angle and adds a little bit of visual interest to the whole thing. So I made my stem fairly short and I curved it a little bit so that it can fit snugly along the grapevine. If you notice, this wreath has wire wrapped around it, and I like to use those wires to help me keep the flowers secure. And obviously, if you want this to be permanent, use glue. Just for the sake of demonstration, I'm skipping the glue. Dipping your stems in hot glue or E6000 is a good way to go. Now I'm gonna make the bow. I'm using a plaid and a solid ribbon. I'm making my bow loop stick out slightly farther than the petals on my mums. And I'm gonna go through this part fairly quickly. I'm sorry, I was a little bit out of frame when I filmed this. It's just a basic 4-loop bow, and my tails are 24 inches long. Now I'm gonna go in and repeat with my solid burgundy bow, except this time I'm going to make my loops just a little bit longer than my plaid loops. And same thing, I'm gonna do 4 loops and my tails are gonna be 24 inches long. I'm using a pipe cleaner to tie it all together, and then I'm going to attach my bow just below our first mum and right next to our second mum. Gonna give it a twist, and then you can cut the ends off or you can just tuck them right into the grapevine. And for composition nerds out there like me, this works because we've effectively made a triangle. That becomes our focal point. Let's start working with our dark green maple leaves. Again, I'm cutting my stems fairly short, and I'm just gonna tuck this first section of leaves right up underneath that second flower. Quick tip. These leaves come 2 pairs to a stem, and you want to push both of those pairs to the tip of the stem. And I'm going to repeat on the exact opposite side. I'm going to add these leaves right next to my first flower. And now I'm going to put one kind of right behind my bow, because I really like that look when it looks like the ribbon is incorporated into the foliage. So we can put that right behind the bow and then kind of work those leaves around the ribbon itself. Now let's start adding our secondary flowers. I'm going to show you a neat trick. You can remove the existing leaves of your flowers, but again, keep those because they're really nice leaves. And you can replace them with these maple leaves, these pretty hunter green maple leaves that I'm so in love with. Just slide those right on, and now you can easily add leaves and flowers at the same time. I'm gonna add 2 clusters of flowers to the top. One cluster is gonna sit closer to my first flower, and the second cluster is going to be 2 to 3 inches above that. And I'm just gonna repeat on the bottom. I removed the existing leaves, I added my maple leaves, and I'm adding a cluster close to my bottom flower, and then going out 2 to 3 inches and adding a second cluster. And now I want to add this amazing eucalyptus. Look at the coloration on this eucalyptus, that beautiful fall tone and those dark lines. And the nice thing is those dark lines show on the back too. So these look great front and back. And I'm not 100% sure where I want them to go. I know I want them to follow the line of the wreath. So I'm just going to place them kind of where I think I want them before I commit to inserting them into the grapevine. And I'm putting an even number on the top as on the bottom, and I'm making sure all of the stems kind of point towards my focal point, which again is the 2 flowers and the bow. And now here we go. I'm officially committing, I'm officially putting it into the grapevine. And the neat thing about this eucalyptus bush is the way they are attached to the wired stem. You can easily bend them forward, backward, side to side, and then you can manipulate if they're going towards the viewer or away from the viewer, and that's how you create depth. I'm gonna show you something real quick. I'm gonna use these darker berries, but we have another set of berries in case we sell out of the darker ones. These purpley ones work just as well, and they're just as pretty. I'm gonna start inserting these dark berries. I'm adding 3 to the top and 3 to the bottom, just kind of where there's empty space and I feel like it needs a little something. And there we go, our beautiful finished fall wreath with those rich, gorgeous colors. And that's what the back looks like. You can see how the stems are hidden along the grapevine, except this one. I've got one little end I need to trim. Then I want to show you something else. If we run out of this dahlia bush, we do have this other bush that is almost exactly the same color, this very similar shape and scale, so it's going to look just as good. And there's those brighter purple berries again. And now for a finishing touch, I'm just going to create a little bit of a cascade effect with the ribbons. I want the ribbons on the far right to be shorter and then gradually get longer and longer as they move towards the left. And there she is, folks. She is a beauty. If you decide to make it, let me know how it goes, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe.